Welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Today we are going to be placing together one of my almost totally finished projects. Super excited it's getting done. Really like how this is turning out. So glad you're here to join me today. Hello. Okay. So I have been working on this one quite a bit for the last 2 days. Really giving it to this one. I'm working on the other projects too, but this one is getting most of my attention right now. So we have 2 eyes that we're going to place on the face. But I'm feeling this, and I'm feeling like this is not stuffed enough, so we're going to add a little more stuffing. We have 2 arms. The arms are at least 1 stitch longer, and the color changes were really fun to figure out, but I think they're going to work really nicely with this cute little body, which is also a stitch higher because I wanted to make sure that the pattern of the shirt was going to work out. Let's hold this up. With the head, I really hope that I'm not going to need extra bracing. So, first things first, I'll pull this out because I didn't want this getting caught on anything, and we're just going to open that up. And we're going to put a little more stuffing in his head. Yeah, we can fit quite a bit more. So, my beautiful bag of stuffing I keep beside me here while I'm doing the amigurumis. So this is a pattern that was meant for a different character, and I've just adjusted bits of it and mixed it with 2 other. So it's just taking elements from a few different things. I am hoping that the head's not going to be too heavy with this hair that I put on there. And I hope it just works out really well that way. But we will soon be finding this out. I may have to put a dowel of some sort inside. I wouldn't do it if it was a snuggly amigurumi, but this is more of a gonna hang out on the top of a desk or a shelf kind of guy. Alright. Let's see. Feeling like we could add a little more in here. Because one thing I always forget when I do amigurumis is that the stuffing does settle. And you can pack it really tight and then a month later pick it up and you're like, oh, great. So, I always got to keep that in mind that will probably, most likely, might stuff it and think, oh, that's going to be enough, and it won't be enough. It's that law of Murphy. Let's see here. Feeling pretty nice. Hair's looking pretty wild. Now where I did this crazy, because this part is the outside and then I switched to this and went to the inside, I am going to use this as the back, so it's not going to be noticeable. At least I hope. Nobody will see that back there. And I feel like this head is just devouring this because it just keeps on fitting more. Okay. And this will be the front. Now this head is going to end up pretty darn grungy. I think it's going to work out really nicely when it's done. It's going to look really spectacular. I have a good feeling about this one. I think it's just working out so well, the way I was hoping it would work. Okay, sorry, I think I changed. I'm trying a different angle here. I feel like my hand is glowing. It's really distracting off of the flash, which I do need because, well, it's dark in here. The camera's not going to pick it all up. So, let's see. Don't have any holes. What a handsome guy you're going to be. Alright. Let's put a tiny bit more in. I remember doing this before, and this spot was really tricky to get just enough in to make sure the head's going to stay where it's supposed to. Tuck a little more in there. Alright. Well, hope everybody's had a really nice weekend. I've done a lot of crochet. Husband had a friend over and they made clam chowder, which is something they enjoy eating. I'm not a big clam chowder fan. Since my last pregnancy, I can't seem to do seafood. I like fish a lot more than I ever did. And she's a big fish eater. She loves fish. It's just weird how you have a child and all of a sudden your tastes really, really change. And sometimes it never goes back. My second daughter made me have trouble with meat, and I still sometimes can't handle just regular, any kind of meat. Beef, pork, doesn't matter. I don't want it. I don't like looking at it. Oh, chicken too. Sorry. I don't like looking at it. I don't want to eat it. So sometimes I just have a nice vegetable meal. Okay, so we're going to stuff this like crazy too. Because we want to be sure this is going to, and I kind of want to do this part first before I put the eyes on or anything, because I want to make sure, I want to be absolutely sure that this is going to be alright. Okay, so I'm going to grab out my new favorite needle. This one is I just got this one from Temu. I like this tapered edge. I got the old ones that I was using, and the edging are more blunted, which is fine, but this seems to really work better for my style. And I feel like this tail is a lot longer than it needs to be. So I'm just going to tuck this in a little bit. It doesn't say to do this per se, but I feel like I should. Go in and out. So take a sec here. Bear with me while we make it through. So I'm giving it a little more of a, I'm not going to really tighten it. I don't think I want to tighten it. I want to give it a more of a lip to grab onto. And down. And this will make sense in a minute. So a little more of a neck is kind of how it's going to work out. I'm not really even caring if it's the right spot or not, or if I'm missing the up and down. I just need something around. Oh, well, isn't that nice? Sorry if you heard the notification. I tried to do this in the middle of the night and I still get notifications for silly things. It snowed most of the day today. That was very nice. My daughters went out and played on the patio for a little bit. Came back all pink-faced and rosy-posy. And then there's a little pine cone that we got, had a thing with bird seed all over it, so we're getting some really cute little like chickadees. They're little tiny, cute little birds. Yeah, I know, birds here are quite messy and they can really destroy your property, but we live right next to a bird refuge, so It's a natural habitat. We have bats, we have owls, sometimes sitting on our patio. We get robins, we get all sorts of interesting birds hanging out. So it's just, we can see a nest for a set of bald eagles, and we also see quite a few falcons. And they just fly around. I don't think we have too many ospreys. I think those ones are closer to the beach. Osprey, I believe they're called. There used to be a couple of blue herons, but I think in the last couple of years that last remaining one may have passed on. Blue herons, from what I understand, mate for life, and that one came back after a winter, and it did not have a mate anymore, and it just haven't seen them around as much. But I also haven't been walking around the neighborhood as much as I was. There's probably more. I hope there's more. They're a very, very unique, interesting looking bird. Alright, this is looking fantastic. This is exactly what I was going for. A little more of a bit more to grab, so I can attach them a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie off this color, because I'm not closing it. We don't close them on this one. There we go. This is my 4th time using this basic pattern for a character or two. This is the first one with a face. I'm not doing a mouth. I'm going to keep it all classy like that. No mouth. He doesn't need one. I hope I made the eyes the right size. I think I did. I only want them to be slightly visible. And I'm debating about eyebrows. I may decide to put eyebrows on after, but that's just a little bit of, just a little touch of the, what do you call it, embroidery. Oh my gosh, there's my word. Okay. Clipping. So I think that's going to be enough. I'm going to save this hunk, because that's a pretty good size piece. I kind of went a little crazy about that. Now, I'm going to put this here, and this should be enough. Might not be enough, actually, now I'm looking at it. So one I put way too much, and one I put not enough. Talent, I tell you, talent. So, we are going to join these two pieces in holy matrimony. Now let's make sure that's what I thought was going on. This happened to me when I did the Hulk. That's one of my first videos. Is I realized I got it all together. I'm super pumped, and after I took a couple pictures and stuff, and I'd given it to my son already, realized I had put his head on backwards. The feet were facing the wrong way. Nobody had noticed, but I was so mad. When I figured out, I had to take his head right off and put it back on. So that was a real pain in the tush. I'm going to use these like this. And this is just to hold my piece in place. I've seen people using like larger ones, and I thought that was a fantastic idea for this kind of thing. I've got these long ones I can just stab through and through and there. Oh, that might be a little iffy. We're going to have to be very careful on how we secure this. Uh-oh. Did I really just do that? I was so excited that I just put down my needle and that I don't know what I did with it now. Yeah, I think I did. Just a second here. Well, it was actually attached to the green, so that was just me being absolutely brilliant here. Alright, let's see if I can see what I'm doing here. We are underneath there, so we are going to work around this. I'm going to pull this out because it's a little distracting. And we are going to start by poking that in. Alright, first thing we want to do here. Alright, we're going to go in through here. See if I can get a good angle because this head is big and fat. Just the way I wanted it. Okay, we're going to go through here. And it's going to be the first few stitches are going to be a little trickier than the rest. That's always how it goes. If you want a good solid base, I'm just going to grab this here. I don't have a proper poking one. I'm sure I could find a different thing, but I love the bluntness of the back here. Looks really good for pushing that around when I need it. Okay, and we're going to go through here. Alright. Tuck up and try not to pull out any of the stuffing or get stuck in it. That's always the battle here, because you don't want the fuzzies sticking out and messing with it. Afterwards, you want to go through it a couple times like these crosses are. But first you want to just attach. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here, because this part is not my favorite. I'll tuck that inside, and yes, there we go. Okay, got a little bit in. Got to come back out. And through. Alright. Come up and over. And it's a-okay to go backwards and forwards and however you want to do it. You want to make sure that it's secure. So I'm going to go back through this one again. I feel like it's sticking up a little more than I'd like. Okay, wrong one. And through here. Alright. I'm going to take a few minutes to get this done because I think I have a couple swear words coming out soon. Just kidding. Probably not. Who knows? This can get very frustrating very quickly. So, I'll be back in a few minutes. Hopefully with this head on, and I hope it works. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to have a nice little tantrum. And nobody wants to see me throw a tantrum. Well, I'm hoping nobody wants to see me throw a tantrum. Alright, I'll be back in just a few moments with the head attack. Okay, that took a little while. But now, as you can see, we are super secure. Got head on, put the arms on, and he's not flopping around. Get him to stand up there. Tail fit looks pretty good. Let's So I think next up is going to be our eyes. There we go, and our eyes are the same size. Just 2 rounds. And pull back this hair here. And let's place these guys. I'm going to use this one in the middle here. And this one. This is going to look kind of weird. This will help us place these eyes where we want them to be. I think right about here is probably what I want to do here. Okay. Now this feels like this one might be a slightly up higher. So let's measure. This one is 4. This one is 4. Okay, I think though I'm going to want to put it about here. And that seems... This feels like where I'm going to want it. Okay. Let's pull this off for a second, make sure that you've got a nice little knot. There's a knot, okay. Now, I grab this guy out. We are going to I'm going to pop this through here. Okay, I'm going to move that. I'm going to come up through our center. Then we pull it out the side so we can just leave the tail and the inside. Or not. So I'm going to leave the tail inside, but we're obviously a little longer than I'd like. Snip that off. Hide that. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Okay. So the first one is there. These look like lovely long black tears. And we do the same on the other side. Okay. Go into here. Out. And I'll go right through the spot right in here. Yeah, that's exactly where I want this. Okay, and turn that way. Pull that out. Okay. Alright. I think we're going to turn you this way. Yeah, so then both of these ends will go down here, which will make it a little easier to match them up a little bit more. Find it out. Come on. There we go. Pull that nice and tight. Give that a snip. And just make sure that's stuffed in there. Okay. So, it's time to embroider the eyes on. One thing I always struggle with is trying to make sure that I spread it enough to make it as wide as possible. Okay, I'm just going to give that one of those. I'm going to go up this way. And come up. You can see what I'm doing. Sorry. Totally looking at what I'm doing here. Go through there. I'm going to come up right to where we put one of the securing stitches. There we go. Very nice. I have never used safety eyes. I don't know if I could. I'm sure I'd find out how to use them right quick. I'm just not sure if I'd like them. I don't know. At some point I may get them and figure out how to use them and see if I like them at all. Alright, so I'm going to pause here for a few minutes, get the eyes on, and then we're going to take a look at the hair. Be right back, and we are back. Now he has two eyes. They're pretty much the same size, only slightly off. Not too bad, but this hair you're not really going to see. So now I have to start cutting our hair. I'm going to cut the loops. So I grab a couple at a time and I just cut them in half. And it's going to turn into hair. All the little imperfections are going to just disappear. And I say imperfections because, like, this right here is driving me crazy. I may have to come back with some of this color and go through it. This is not how I would make another one of these. I definitely understand why they made a toupee for the last one. And that makes sense. But I'm already this far, so I'm pretty committed now. Okay. And keep on cutting these. Oops, almost dropped the whole thing here. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. This is the funnest part about doing hair like this. So next I get to give it a bit of a style. And I'm going to take a little peek at him and make sure that he's good. considering making him guitar to hold on to. That doesn't need to be in there. Go. I just keep getting nice shots in my hand here. I think I did pretty good with this sweater, though. It's quite the challenge. Yep, definitely would do a toupee. I don't like these holes here. Now I understand a lot more about why the other pattern for Chucky was that way. I thought I was being smart. But I don't know. You learn something new every day. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. And there he is. Our final result. Not bad looking. His hair turned out to be a little bit less than what I was hoping, but you know what? Overall, I'm pretty pleased. Maybe I'll make him a guitar and a little stand to stand on. Just because his head is so top heavy. He doesn't really want to stand on his own, but that's okay. His eyes peeking through. Looking crazy. Love it. And thank you for joining here at All the Crackers in the Box. Hope to see you again very soon. Bye.